hear me? With Uniqo Williams. That's right. It's your boy coming at you on a Thursday, as I always love to do. Why? Well, Thursday is my favorite day of the week. Because I was born on a Thursday, 11:47 a.m. Woo! So happy to be back with you, man. More than anything, you know, I've been doing my thing with the whole live situation. I'm not sure about Facebook. They have stopped me a couple times messing up my videos, doing all that. But I tell you what, I look some good today. Wouldn't you agree? I look some good. It's been a while. My barber, he been on vacation. And you know, for all my listeners out there, I apologize that you can't see me right now. But, you know, for my YouTube crowd that show up on Fridays at 9 a.m., yeah, my barber, I had to let him go on vacation. I ain't had no haircut since before New Year. Like my barber was about to go do his thing for New Year, go on vacation. And I said, just go on, man. Just go on. Because, you know, I don't have no business going out for New Year anyway. Still got the pandemic and all that stuff going on. And the lady Rona, she's still prancing around here, being proud while they still doing these vaccines. We still don't know nothing about that, but I'm sure we'll talk about that in a later episode. But yeah, woo! I look some good. So I am happy to be here. I appreciate everybody that tune in and listen. I can't stress that enough. I really appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And we ain't gonna do nothing but get better from here. But our first topic today, which is not our main topic, let's see here. Well, y'all president going to court. He got more in common with the people that he trying to put down than we initially thought. So President Trump is going, he's being impeached. He is being impeached for inciting an insurrection. I mean, this dude, I don't know, this is crazy. I'll get my thoughts about it later, but just a quick overview. We know what happened in the Capitol. They were rioting in the Capitol, doing their thing, and it turned into an insurrection. You know, they had every right to march and be like, we want Trump, we want Trump. But then they went into the Capitol building, and we know what happened from there. So now they're trying to impeach him for inciting an insurrection, which pretty much happened. I mean, we didn't get into, it wasn't exactly like 1862, but it happened. And he's done a lot of backtracking. And Mitch McConnell, he is of the mind that we should not start the proceedings for this because they voted. He's going to trial. He has to go on trial for this. But he's of the mindset of doing it after we get Joe Biden in and after the inauguration and just kind of go from there. And I think, and they're thinking that we should spend this next week or so trying to get the president acclimated to his new position. That, you know, I always wonder, you know, is when you're elected president, is it like orientation time, or do they do anything like that? Do they have training? I don't know. Or like when he gets inaugurated, is he just gonna just start doing presidential stuff? Like, all right, cool, I'm the president. Then do you like go home and go to bed, or do you start making phone calls trying to change the world and make things better for people that live here in the United States, which a lot of times trickles down to the rest of the world? So I always wondered that. But that's what Mitch McConnell, who is for now the Speaker of the House, which he will be out of his position after the other two Congress people are put in from Georgia after they're sworn in. As well as Joe Biden being sworn in, and then there will be a new Speaker of the House. So that's how that works. But yeah, he incited a riot, so we'll keep our eye on that. He would be the first president to be impeached and go through his trial period, probably after his presidency. At that point, honestly, they can just send him to like Circuit Court 12 or something in one of these random counties, because the focus needs to be off of him at this point. The focus needs to be on where we're going as people and as a society. Where are we going to try and make things better? Because 75 million people did agree with what he had to say. So we need to keep our eyes on that, because it's quite frankly, it's not over. There are a lot of people that are out there that still think that that ethnicities and all that stuff that don't deserve what some other people might think. And actually a nice chunk of those people are ethnicities that agree with Trump and his mindset. So let's try and find a way to be on one accord. Shout out to my brown folk. man, I don't know why y'all dislike us. We didn't do nothing. But this is just me, or does it seem like the rest of the ethnicities kind of just look at black folk like, hey, if light skinned people don't like them, then we shouldn't either. We have to be above them, right? We need to change that perception, because last time I checked, I'm A-okay. And I look at today. So we'll keep our eyes on that. But to our main topic of the week, thus we name today 3, the Harden way. Why did we name it that? Because James Harden is a part of a 4-team trade that will take him to Brooklyn to play with Kevin Durant and quite possibly Kyrie Irving. At first glance, there's a lot of people out there that's like, oh yeah, the Brooklyn Nets is going down. I am not of that mindset. I don't believe that they're about to be just this great team. I don't believe it, because let's talk about super teams for a minute, since everybody want to talk about it, and maybe y'all wanted to jump on LeBron, so let's use LeBron James and his super team as an example. Let's start there. Year 1 in Miami, it was 2 dudes that was really good, and the third one that was like, hey man, I really don't mind kicking back, man. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna just kick back, but do what I gotta do. But he sat back, while Dwayne and LeBron James, who LeBron, he just being a guy that he is, hey, this is Wade County, so I'm gonna let D Wade do what. Sometimes you go in other places and you just the better player, and that just is what it is. LeBron James is showing right now, 36, that he's a bad boy. More on that later. But somebody had to take a back seat. So now we're in a situation where we are watching James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant come together and try and do something after they lost some pretty big pieces. I'm going to get on that in a second too, but let's just talk about them as a core. I would say all 3 of them need the ball in their hand at some point to manipulate the defense, manipulate the outcome of the game, period. All 3 of them need the ball to do what they do to be effective. Now, let's talk about who needs the ball the least. It's probably Kevin Durant, who needs the ball to play effective basketball. Kevin Durant needs it the least. James Harden, yes, he does get a lot of assists. I'm gonna give you that. I think James Harden, he showed one year in Houston. Shout out to Scrooston, much love. He showed that he can do triple doubles and stuff by himself. He showed that, but he does need the ball. And for Kyrie to does what he does, he needs the ball. So there's 2 people on that team that need the ball. And people will go back and forth about who really needs the ball. Is it Kevin? I mean, is it Kevin Durant? Is it Kyrie? Or is it James Harden? I'm gonna tell you about the psyche. Somebody in that situation needs to step back, and the person that I think is going to be that steps back is the one person on that team that does not need to step back. Kyrie is going to do Kyrie. We're seeing that right now. We even started a Kyrie Irving task force just for Kyrie Irving, but because we're still trying to find him. But Kyrie's going to do Kyrie. James Harden needs to do James. I've never seen him just be the spot-up shooter that people kick out to. I've never seen him be a stand-around other than the last 3 games. He definitely stood around for Houston in the last 3 games, just stood around, didn't do anything to help out or be a part of the offense at all. Shout out to Boogie Cousins, because, man, that was very disrespectful the way that he pushed himself out of Houston. That was very wrong of him to do, because there's 14 people on this team. What did we do to you? We didn't do anything. So, but that's okay. That's okay. Shout out to John Wall. He played like he wanted to be there, averaging 28 the last couple of games too. So shout out to him. But going back to it, James Harden, I've never seen him just be a sit around and wait kind of guy. He needs the ball in his hands, and that's why he was such a great 6th man, because Russ and KD a lot of times wasn't on the court when he got to go in there and do his thing. So shout out to James Harden for doing that. But now you're in a situation where you're not going to have the ball all the time. You shouldn't have the ball all the time. You should actually be able to step back in your role, making $44 million a year, to sit back and sometimes be Kyle Korver. Sometimes be that JJ Redick. Sometimes just chill, just sit back. I don't see how anybody on that team can get it going with you going to the line every 5 seconds and then take a step back threes, because we know what happens. Sometimes them threes don't fall, but more than anything, you are going to the line all day. How can anybody else play with so much stoppage of the game? That's how you play. And if I'm Kyrie, I'm feeling some type of way, because I feel like I should be bringing the ball up the court and doing what I do. And I got to give you 22, 23. And then there's KD. KD is all world. I'm sorry. As far as scoring goes, him and James Harden, they're just as good as anybody. I'll give you that. But Kevin Durant is just different. He's just different. He's efficient. KD's a dog. I'm sorry. He is. He did what he did, but he showed us that he can play within a team concept. He showed us that he could play with other people. And I don't know where these dudes' heads is at right now. I really don't know where they're at. Because Kevin Durant left, he left Golden State because he felt like he wasn't getting enough credit. James Harden, he wasn't getting enough help. I don't even know his story. All I know is that front office did the best that they could for James Harden. They just came up very short all the time. Shout out to that year he had Chris Paul. Actually, man, he could have beat the Warriors. Like, James Harden could have beat the Warriors. And there was a time when Houston could have done it. They could have beat them. Y'all was up on them. Y'all could have beat them. And James Harden, we wouldn't be talking about you at this point like this. But yeah, you couldn't do it with Chris Paul. You couldn't do it with Dwight Howard. But anyway, you left out of there because you wanted more help. Now you team back up with KD. You already tried it with Russ. That's your boy. But now you're back with KD. So we'll see how that goes. And then Kyrie, he's nobody's Robin. And, he left up from under LeBron's leadership and left up under LeBron's shadow. I don't need to be there. I'm going to go forge my own path. Well, you didn't do much for Boston. KD was out for Brooklyn last year, and you didn't really do much for them either. I mean, man, you got the handles is crazy. The ball's on a string. I get that. But I'm just not there, Kyrie. So with that being said, you got three people with three different places, and if they're on a journey, because they say it's all about the journey, but sometimes you got to give the destination some credit. Sometimes you got to give the destination some credit, because you want to get there for a reason, and the destination is to get an NBA title. And so back to my analogy, like the Miami Heat, the big three, like it wasn't no big three before. That's a whole nother show. Never mind. But LeBron knew that he needed to be the dog. D-Wade knew that he would be the dog when LeBron's not being the dog. I got this. And then you need Chris Bosh to just do everything else, like, do the little things, like, rebound and just take that step back and just be effective, because he would put up 18 points sometimes on you out of nowhere. He would put up 22 points just in a random game. Sometimes he'd have a 30-point game, but LeBron and D-Wade not too far behind. But some people, I just don't see it. I just really don't see it. So going back to that analogy, who should take the back seat based off of the mentality that I've seen from them this year, or just in their careers, it should be Kyrie. And honestly, I mean, you ain't been at the games or nothing, so you might as well take a back seat. I wouldn't be just coming out there acting like I'm the man. This is my team. I wouldn't do that if I were you. But if this is going to be effective, he does need to take that backseat role. Let KD and James Harden do what they do, and then there's some nights where you can pop. There are nights where you can pop, where you can take advantage of another guard. But that dribbling for 16, 17 seconds out of the shot clock, that's not going to help, because James needs that to do what he does. James Harden needs to do that. And y'all done messed around, got D'Antoni and Nash all together. That Phoenix mentality, that was cool, but that team wasn't like that. Nash was a willing passer. He will score, but he was a willing passer. Kyrie might need to give Steve Nash a little bit more credit than he's giving him. But I'm gonna tell you who is going to, because it ain't gonna be James Harden. James Harden is far gone. James Harden gonna do James Harden. That's just him. The person that's going to be the bigger person out of these three, that's going to let everybody else eat and shine and do what they do, is Kevin Durant. And he's the last person on that team that needs to take the back seat because he's the dog. He needs to be like LeBron James when he got his first championship and say, nope, I'm doing this. This is me. This is my team. Kevin Durant needs to take that mentality in order for this to be successful. Kyrie, you my boy, but I need you to be my boy. Be my boy. Support me. This my team. You want it. That we hear stuff, we're not here for that. But what we are here for is to see y'all be successful. And the only way y'all can be successful is if you let Kevin Durant be the guy. And knowing Kevin Durant, I don't think he wants that. That's not how he plays. He's another guy. He gets his shots. He's terrific on defense. But if James Harden decides that he wants to take 25 shots and Kyrie decides he wants to take 22 shots, he would be the one to sit back and score. He would be 11 for 13 on a night. He don't mind. He won't mind being 6 for 9. A few trips to the line. That's the kind of guy KD is. So there's two sides of it. Somebody needs to fall back. And that person doesn't need to be Kevin Durant. So we're going to keep our eyes on that, man. A part of that news, Victor Oladipo, he went down in Houston. He'll be joining Paul. Look, I almost called the boy Paul Wall. John Wall, he'll be down there with John Wall and Boogie Cousins. So, you know, big ups to Vic. We appreciate everything he's done for the Pacers organization, but you ain't it. And I'm glad that we got Karis LeVert. This is huge. I think the Pacers got better off of this trade. I didn't know that he was going to be a part of this at all, but let's see what he can do with his own stage. I'm excited to see that because he's overshadowed by Kyrie and KD at the time of them playing. Hey, he can play. And I believe he's good for it. He's good to average 26 a game, I think. But he's on his own stage. Got him up there with Sabonis and Miles Turner. This is going to be interesting East. And I think the Pacers right there. I think they're right there. They actually have that score that you really, really need that's going to come every single night. In this trade, Brooklyn, they lost Allen. He's a big dog, so that brings DeAndre Jordan back into the forefront. And we know he's no scorer. He is definitely a rim protector and a rebounder, but they lost him. So again, I'm going to say, if anybody won this trade, shout out to Houston because they got their future back because they lost their future, trying to deal their future away for the right now. They got some of their future back. Brooklyn lost it a little bit, but here's something to keep note of. Kevin Durant can opt out after 1 year. So just keep that in mind because if this ain't working out, Kevin Durant could be gone. But James Harden is locked in. Or so we think, because we just saw what he did. So with that being said, let's move on to football. This is our last topic before we get on out of here. Football, we got the playoffs cracking this weekend. Here are my picks for this week. We got the Rams versus Packers. The line is 6.5 Packers. I'm gonna say, cause I love me some Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to say the Packers come away with the W, but I say that the Rams can cover that 6.5. I think it'll be a very close game. I'm not sure if Green Bay will beat them by a touchdown. I think it'll be a closer game than what people expect. Ravens versus Bills. The Bills are favored by 2.5 points. Not only do I have the Ravens covering, I have the Ravens winning. I think Lamar Jackson has a date with destiny with this next game, which is the Browns versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs are favored by 10 points. That's way too high in my opinion. I think Cleveland's not that bad of a team, and it just depends on what Baker's going to do. But the Browns have a squad, but I believe the Browns will cover, but the Chiefs will win. Thus making it the Chiefs versus the Ravens, and I think that's going to be a good showdown because Lamar Jackson has a lot to prove, and I don't know, Pat Mahomes, I think he's in a good place. So yeah, I think he's good, but we'll see about that. The last game, Bucks versus the Saints. The Saints are favored by 3. You know I love the city of New Orleans. Love it, love it, love it. You know, but we lost Kobe. And there was a point in time where we watched him drop. We watched him have a 60-point game, and we'll never see him on the court playing again. I don't want Tom Brady's story to be over. You know, Tom Brady was a rival of the Colts for the longest. I don't even want to call it a rivalry. He just flat out whooped Peyton Manning all the time. But I gotta say, I'm taking the Bucks to win. I'm taking the Bucks to win this one, and we'll keep this going. We'll keep it going. So it looks like we're going to be heading towards a Bucks versus Packers championship Sunday and a Ravens versus Chiefs championship Sunday. And I'm excited to see how this turns out. Now, ladies, if you're looking for somebody that's going to stick with you through thick and thin and not get too thick, because I don't want to be there. Look no further than me. You can catch me at ChristianMingle.com. Look me up. I am Bartholomew. Bartholomew on ChristianMingle.com. We out here, baby. I ain't gonna do you wrong. I play every night and I play hard. Okay. You know the deal. I'm on Spotify every Thursday, Apple Music every Thursday, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Every Friday at 9 a.m. you can watch my oh so beautiful face. So if you're listening to it today on live, you can listen to me live, and you can watch me again on Fridays. What's new 99? We got way too many videos that just came out this week. What's the trend 99? We've been clowning all week. We are in our bag. Purpose is back with my homegirl Bree. Purpose will be back next Wednesday. For season 2 is going down. I heard she's gonna have a special guest. I don't know who it is, but we gonna see. So with all that being said, this has been another episode of Do You Hear Me? With Uniqo Williams. I holla. Much love, y'all.